Good morning. This is the Committee on Water and Land. I'm Representative Patrick Pihana Branco, the Vice Chair of the committee. Today is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022, and it is 9 a.m. and we are in conference room 430 at the state capitol. Our first measure is HCR 79, requesting a working group be convened to make recommendations to prevent the reoccurrence of wildfires on Wa'ahila Ridge near the University of Hawaii at Manoa. First on our list of testifiers is Robert Hoff from DLNR in support. Mr. Hoff, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I'm Rob Hoff with the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. The department stands on its testimony with comments. Thank you.
Thank you. We also received testimony and support from Michael Walker from DLNR DOFA, as well as individual testimony from Jennifer Azuma Chulpak, Lori Barron, and Ann Kobayashi. If there's any others who would like to testify via Zoom or in the room, this is the time. If not, members, questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, moving on to our next measure. I'm going to group these together, HCR 93 and HR 87. Requesting the City and County of Honolulu to purchase certain tax map key parcels to be used for additional parking and other community needs. We received a lot of testimony in support, so I'm going to just go down the list. We don't have anyone testifying, but if there's anyone who would like to testify via Zoom or in the room, please make it known. Okay. Now we have Tommy Waters from City Council District 4 in support. Robert Finley from the Waikiki Neighborhood Board, support. Phyllis Foley from Lucky Cat Properties Group in support. And individual testimony in support from John Bickle, Denise Boisvert, Kim Jorgensen, Waylon Lim, Vladimir Grovich, Adriel Tam, Jackie Lee Jensen, James Singleton, Michael Higarty, Kurt Maliun, Judy Strait Jones, Marcos Dupree Riola, Jacob Winneck, Oscar Pinavai, Mary Ellen Foley, Frank Ducourt, Carlos Casillas Jones, Nathan Carl, Kimberly Carl, Jeffrey Cochran, and Dennis Boyd Miller. We also have individual testimony in opposition from Jennifer Azuma Trolpa and individual testimony from Emily Almeida with comments. That is all the testimony that we have. Members, any questions or comments?
Sure. Did Okada Trucking have any testimony?
We did not receive any testimony.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Members, any further questions or comments? Seeing none, moving on to the next set of measures, HCR 136, HR 136. We have individual testimony in support for both measures from Denise Antolini via Zoom. Denise, you may have the floor.
Aloha, good morning, members of the committee. I am Denise Antolini. I live in Pupukea on the North Shore, but for several years I lived right down near Cammie's. And what you see behind me is the now iconic photo of the yellow house that fell into the Cammie's Beach area almost exactly a month ago. It was February 28th. So in part of my community volunteer capacity, I'm a member of the North Shore Community Resilience Working Group, which is a volunteer effort spearheaded by Surfrider in combination with Sea Grant, the City and County of Honolulu, the state. It's a wonderful multi-stakeholder effort to try to come up with some solutions that eventually may end up in your committee or other committees of the legislature to have a community-driven process. So I support these two resolutions because it encourages the working group to continue its work and looks at the stakeholder model as a potential process that could be replicated around the state for community engagement. So I'm open for questions, but I really appreciate your taking the time to hear these two resolutions. Mahalo.
Thank you so much, Ms. Antonini. Is there anyone in the room or via Zoom that would like to testify on this measure? Okay, see none. Members, questions or comments? See no questions or comments, moving on to the next set of measures, which is HCR 140, HR 140, and recognizing Ernie Lau and his role in protecting Hawaii's water supply and establishing the Ernie Lau Water Protector poster contest. We're actually honored to have Mr. Lau in the room today. Okay, let's just go down the testifiers list. In support, we have Keith Okamoto from Hawaii Department of Water Supply, and we have Ms. Kathleen Mitchell from Board of Water Supply with comments in person. Ms. Mitchell, if you would like to testify. Okay, Mr. Lau.
May I take off my mask?
Yes, you may, sir.
Thank you so much, Ernie Lau, Manager and Chief Engineer for Honolulu Board of Water Supply. I am humbled and honored to be recognized by these resolutions. It's totally unexpected. I'm just a public servant. As I mentioned earlier, I have this year I'll make 43 years of government service, all of it in public service. That is my passion. And as the manager, it's really to ensure that the BWS provides safe, dependable, and affordable drinking water now and into the future for our community. While I appreciate this honor, there are many more that also deserve to be recognized. Mr. Erwin Kawata, our program administrator of our Water Quality Division, who has stood for the past 8 years with me, advocating for the protection of our precious vi. Erwin, if you could stand, please. I'd like to recognize you and say mahalo. I also want to recognize the Sierra Club. In the beginning, we felt that we were kind of by ourselves, and Sierra Club also stood with us to advocate for protection and preservation of this vi. And I want to recognize Marty Townsend, the former executive director. She was an early advocate. Members of our community are also the unsung heroes who for years listened to and heard what our concerns about the situation and our danger to our vi. And I remember some of them from the very first meeting 8 years ago when they came to the community meeting. And they're still on this issue. So a big mahalo to them all for standing strong on this. And I also want to recognize our Kanaka Mau, we have learned what our kuleana is, or what our responsibility of protecting the aina from them. They have set the path for us, and we need to follow that. There are many more heroes in this effort. I just want to say the journey is not over yet. And together we can ensure that our precious vi will be here for generations to come. My request is let us endeavor to leave this skiff in better condition than we received it, pure and free of contamination. And it's important that all levels of government leadership and the community at large remain vigilant and steadfast to lead this effort with one voice to ensure the Navy will not delay, deflect, and defer the defueling of the Red Hill facility and its permanent closure. Hawaii Ola, water is life. I just want to thank this body, chair and vice chair members of this committee. This is a great honor, and I'm kind of embarrassed by it. We're doing our job, but I appreciate the state legislature standing strong on this issue together. And one of the members that is no longer with us, Senator Breen Harimoto, while he was at the council, was a very sympathetic and supportive ear to our concerns about the Red Hill situation. And I just want to say aloha, Breen. I know you're listening. Just big mahalo too. So thank you, members. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lau, for being here. And thank you for all of your work to keep our water supply safe. And we really appreciate your service to our community and to our state.
Mahalo. It's a team effort with all of you. Mahalo.
We have testimony in support from Kupuna for the Mo'opuna. Also from Jim Albertini Maluaina in support. Alan Burdick from Progressive Democrats of Hawaii in support. Melody Aduha from the Environmental Caucus of the Democratic Party of Hawaii in support. Janice Shirira from Shimamutu Y Protectors Ukwanshin Kambudan in support. Connie Chun from the same organization in support. And we have individual testimony in support from Elizabeth Ann Masaoka, Sanford Yee, Stephanie Kendrick, Sherry Pollock, Shannon Rudolph, Patrice Choi, Faithian Keeney, Jeanne Wheeler, Dave Watase, Deanne Choi, Fujimura, Beverly Heiser, Dylan Armstrong, Lori Barron, Dylan Ramos, Bruce, Ann Kobayashi, and Shelley Choi. If there's anyone else via Zoom or in the room that would like to testify on these two measures. If not, members, questions or comments? Mr. Kobayashi.
I support.
Thank you, sir. Representative Gannon.
I support Vice Chair. Also, of course, my thanks to Mr. Lau, the Board of Water Supply, and all the people who have been advocating for clean water for last 4 months and the last several decades. So it's not often that we get to celebrate civil service like this. So let's do it.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Morikawa.
I have kind of a question, and only because I have participated in poster contests on Kauai, the KIUC one, which ends up being a calendar. I'm just wondering, by doing this, what would be the incentive, you think, for the kids to do this? Is the Board of Water Supply doing some type of publicity thing, or?
Well, thank you.
Or I should say, could the Board of Water Supply? Go ahead.
Thank you. We have a poster and poetry contest that's been around for about 39 years now. So we can look to add this as part of that effort. And it ends up being in a calendar. And I think we distribute about 20,000 copies. Pre-COVID, we had a celebration of the honorees of the students at the Mission Memorial. About 200 or so people would come out, and the students would walk up onto the stage, shake the mayor's hand, our hand, and be recognized and given a small gift also.
Okay, that's good. Do you know if that happens on the other islands too, or just for Oahu?
I'm not sure if the other islands do the same thing, but
You guys have like a conference where all of you get together and could talk about this?
Yes, we actually have an annual conference, the Hawaii Waterworks Association, and it rotates from island to island.
Yeah.
It's been on hold because of the pandemic, but
Right.
the next time it starts again, it'll be on Maui,
Okay.
and we're looking forward to going there.
I'm just thinking if this could be an all statewide thing for each island, that the schools on each island could get involved too. It's not just about, we honor you and everything, but water is precious. And I think bringing awareness to that for the younger children is a good thing.
That's this has been an amazing journey, and it's not over yet, but some of the most touching moments have been to receive letters from Keiki on the Big Island, to receive letters from students here on the Oahu, and they're young students, and they somehow they understand and they grasp the importance of protecting the Vai. In our poster and poetry contest, there was one student entry that I'm not sure if that person is going to be nominated or awarded, But it was about Red Hill and protecting the Vai from contamination from the fuel. So that's the amazing thing, because these are the next generations. And if we can reach into their hearts, into their minds, and plant the seeds of how we need to malama the resources, malama the Vai for our future, for their future.
Right. Thank
It's an
you.
amazing,
Yes,
it's
thank you
amazing.
so much.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations.
Members, any further questions or comments? Mr. Kobayashi?
A comment, Mr. Lau's testimony mentions Sierra Club and its then Executive Director, Ms. Marty Townsend. Also involved in this issue is the current Executive Director of Sierra Club, Wayne Tanaka, who appeared with Representative Gannon in a press conference, I believe October 16th or October 19th, which with a petition signed by 12 of us, including Chair Tarnas and I believe Vice Chair Bronco.
Thank you, Representative Kobayashi. It's a very good memory you have. Any other member?
Other stuff.
Yes, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing no questions or comments, I'm gonna roll right into decision making.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Mr. Lau.
Mr. Lau and Irwin and Barbara. We really appreciate you being here. And we're going to go ahead into decision making. You're welcome to stay, but you know, we're going to pass it out. So thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Irwin. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to see?
Yes. Ma'am, in the back, were you planning on testifying on a certain bill?
Oh, she's.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet
Oh,
you.
very good, very good. The whole team is here. We're very blessed.
Thank you.
We're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna roll right into decision making. The first measure is HCR 79, requesting a working group be convened to make recommendations to prevent the reoccurrence of wildfires in the Wa'ahila Ridge area. Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out with amendments, adding, taking the recommendations from DLNR's testimony, adding in representation from the University of Hawaii Manoa, the Board of Water Supply, the Fire Department, the Department of Human Services, and also public recreational advocacy interests. Members, any questions or comments? Representative Gannon?
No.
Seeing none, let's take the vote for HCR 79 with amendments. Chair, if you could take the vote.
Thanks. Vice Chair recommendation HCR 79 passed with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Gannon.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Right.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
And Representative McDermott is excused. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, Chair. On to the next set of measures, HCR 93, HR 87, requesting the city and county of Honolulu to purchase certain tax map key parcels. The Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass this out as is. Members, any questions or comments? Seeing none, let's move to the vote. The Vice Chair's recommendation for HCR 93, HR 87 is to pass out as is.
Thank you. Vice Chair's recommendation HCR 93 passed as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Gannon.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
And Representative McDermott is excused. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Moving on to the next set of measures, HCR 136, HR 136, asking the city and county of Honolulu to lead community education workshops regarding the recommendations of the North Shore Coastal Resilience Working Group. Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out as is. Members, any questions, comments? Seeing none, the Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out HCR 136, HR 136 as is. Chair for the vote.
Thank you. We're taking a vote on both HCR 136 and HR 136. The recommendation is to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
Thank you. And Representative McDermott is excused. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Moving on to the next set of measures, HCR 140, HR 140, recognizing Ernie Lau and his role in protecting Hawaii's water supply. The Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out as is. Members, any questions or comments?
Vice Chair.
Please.
Again, noting that this is an opportunity to celebrate humility and civil service. We don't get to do this very often, and let's do it. The state and county, we're not a corporation. We're not allowed to give out bonuses. So this is about as good as we can do in order to honor these decades of civil service to our community and protection of our shared resource. I'm also noting that, really hoping that Mr. Lau and his team don't decide to take a well-earned vacation or retirement anytime soon. There is much work to do in defueling the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility, in determining whether or not the county is going to be issuing moratoriums on new water permits, whether or not there's going to be a schedule for those permits after a moratorium is issued, how to determine that schedule, how to build and dig a new Halava shaft, which represents 20% of Honolulu's municipal water supply, and how to protect future generations in climate change. So if this is all we can do is honor him with a poster contest, then it's the least that we can do. Thank you so much, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Members, any further comments or questions? Seeing none, the Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out HCR 148 and HR 140 as is. Chair, for the vote.
Thank you. Vice Chair's recommendation, HCR 140 and HR 140. We're taking the vote together. Pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
Thank you. Representative McDermott is excused. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Before we go on, Vice Chair, just out of an abundance of caution, I want to make sure I take a clear vote on HR 87. That is the companion to HCR 93, which we did vote on, but I failed to say we were voting on both. So if I may I go back
Please.
and do that? Okay, HR 87 recommendation is to pass as is.
Yes.
Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
Thank you. Representative McDermott is excused. That measure is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And moving on to the last set of measures, it's HCR 36, HR 31. We had heard this on March 22nd. And we're gonna go ahead and do decision-making on this measure, which is requesting the University of Hawaii to work with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and Department of Education to create a coral reef advisory team of youth. We did not receive any official public testimony, but the University of Hawaii and other proponents did email Chair and Vice Chair in support of this measure. So we're gonna go ahead and take the vote. The Vice Chair's recommendation for HCR 36 and HR 31 is to pass out as is. Members, any comments or questions? Seeing none, the Vice Chair's recommendation is to pass out HCR 36 and HR 31 as is. Chair for the vote.
Thank you. Vice Chair recommendation, HCR 36 and HR 31 pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganadin.
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Kong.
Aye.
Representative Morikawa.
Aye.
Representative Ono.
Aye.
And Representative McDermott is excused. Thank you very much. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the members for being here. Seeing that we have no further business before the hearing, this hearing is adjourned.